my search for cars here. There's a PD in that one. There's another one here. This one's a bit crusty looking. Shame. There's another one down there. Oh, look at that. Alright, so I went down to a local garage there that always had a lot of Volkswagen stuff around. I'd bought lots of bits and pieces off him before. He has a whole bunch of Passats around the place. Most have PD engines. They did find one that has a fairly complete, I'm not sure what the code is on it. I have a picture of the chassis plate there, but I must just double check it. It is normal TDI with an electronic pump. So I made a deal with him on that one. It's only missing the water pump bracket off it, but that other one that I found out in the field has that bracket on it. So he has loads of other TDI stuff around there anyway. So that'll take care of that. So I'll go down and take that out next week sometime, and it's handy to save me messing about getting scrap cars and stuff, or trying to get anything home, because he'll have everything I need around the place there. I've also got another guy who I know who's a Volkswagen breaker, and he has a petrol Passat gearbox. Now it's not the 1.8 turbo one. I think it might be off 2 litre petrol, but he's compared it to a TDI one, and it's the same bell housing. Now I'm getting the TDI gearbox with this engine, but he's giving me that petrol gearbox. It's of no value to him, and he's a regular customer of mine anyway, so he's going to... he said he'll give me that. So I'll have a look at that, just for the CV joint sizes and stuff. Just for the CV joint sizes and stuff, it might come in handy. So yeah, that's a bit of progress on that anyway. We'll look into it next week when I go back to take that stuff out. See how we get on. Now, just pottering around out in the shed this evening. This is the petrol gearbox which I was given yesterday. Yeah, she wouldn't take anything for it. Said it's been around a long time and no one really had any interest in them. So just comparing it there to the T25 box. I'm going to go probably go at getting the TDI engine out tomorrow on that gearbox, and we'll compare it all. But interestingly, I had heard that some of these drive flanges might fit the T4 inner CV, which would in turn fit the drive shaft on the T25. But this is actually the same as the one on the T25 petrol gearbox. They're both about 100mm diameter with about 87mm. This is just measured with a measuring tape. 87mm PCD on the bolts. So that's interesting. And the other thing about it is I just measured the widths, and as far as I can gauge just by running those 2 bits of timber off of them to get a reasonably accurate measurement, is these are 271mm wide and these are 288, I think. So I think it was 17mm of the T25 gearbox is 17mm wider than the Passat one. This I must look up. I have a feeling it might be an AC box. I think it's off a 2 litre petrol Passat. So I must figure out what the story is with the gearing in that. But yeah, before I go ordering drive adapters or anything like that, certainly going to look into whether these cups fit into the TDI box, or whether this box is more suitable to use than the other one. If I only need to get a little spacer made just to extend the width of this gearbox a little bit, that'd be good. But yeah, we'll know more tomorrow once I get stuck in with the TDI box as well. So, change of plan. We have an Audi, 96 Audi. It's our engine. I should make a little video of it for you.
Get another turbo diesel engine, yeah, good idea. Yeah. Oh look, there's a nice Audi over there. Oh yeah, let's get that in.
Love it.
Yeah. Well, this isn't even fucking turning.
That's what younger siblings are for.
Why is it doing that? What are you doing? Oh wait, there's another bolt here I could probably undo. Oh wait.
Nearly free.
Wait, what's that?
Also, this little beauty arrived today to have a few little jobs done. It's a nice van. It's a 2.1 fuel injected engine in that one. Left-hand drive, powered steering, electric windows, electric mirrors. Pretty fancy as T25s go. Whew, it's been a tough morning getting that out. Sweating down the back of that place. It was absolutely roasting today. Those are thunderstorms rolling by there. But we have a Jeep loaded with stuff. Yeah, the Passat engine, there was bits and pieces missing off it. Put a battery in, the mileage was quite high. There was something missing, some reason it wouldn't crank. But probably just because the alternator was off, something to do with the wiring, and there was an Audi sitting there, so we asked him about that. And yeah, that was up for grabs as well, so we took the Audi engine. 96 Audi, 160,000 miles, something like, I can't remember now. But yeah, it was an absolute nightmare to get out, as you'd expect. And then we had to figure out a way of getting it out of the place it was then as well, which was just great fun. So yeah, I'll unload some of this stuff now. The engine might have stayed in there until I can take the canopy off the back of the Jeep again. Right, so I'm sitting around here trying to identify this engine exactly. I have the numbers off the gearboxes now, so I'm trying to suss that out, but I know you can find it all online and read it all, but until I have it in front of me, that's just how I tend to work with it. I like to see, you hear of problems and stuff, but it's a lot easier to figure it out once you're looking at it and then read back through stuff and suss it out. So I'll give you a little walk around the engine, because sometimes it's just nice to see that stuff. Right, so I've been playing a little bit with the wiring. Just plugged out the ECU off of there, but that's the what they call them, pentameters or whatever, for the accelerator pedal. And I was just tying that back in. We basically cut this out of the car. So my plan is to get that ECU, immobilizer delete, and EGR delete, and so have it so that I can just run it with none of this stuff basically. Right, so the normal way of identifying these is the number. It would be on the timing cover, which is there, but there is no sticker, no marking, nothing on that. So what I'm looking at, the car was a 96 Audi A4 TDI. So what I'm reckoning is this is a 1Z engine. So it does not have a water jacket EGR valve. I haven't found any way of identifying the turbo. Like, these are just clues as to what it is, more so than fact. The engine internals are the real decider, but oil feed is from the head, not from the oil filter housing. Oil pressure switch is on there, on the housing, not on the block or head or wherever else it can be. There's a few, those just seem to be a few key ways to identify it in an engine that hasn't been messed around with too much. I've taken off the powered steering pump. Throw that away, won't need it. Need to get that fan off, but just struggling with that a bit at the moment. I will be taking part of this off. This may need changing depending for the belt run, this bracket, the way the alternator mounts, because I need the alternator to spin the right way. I must look into that a bit more. I will be doing thermostat, timing belt and tensioners, clutch. It's just a solid flywheel on these, which is handy. Yeah, I just have to clean it all, go through it all, and see what we have. I'm going to send the ECU away and have the work done on that. And when I get that back, hopefully I'll have this thing ready to actually start, and we'll see how we go. If all else fails on the wiring side of thing, so I'll go do an MTDI conversion on it, but we will push ahead with the electronic options for now. I don't think there'll be any problem, but yeah, suss it out. Now, there we have our T25 box, petrol Passat box, and the TDI box which came off this. This box would lead me to believe that that engine is an AHU, but it also has a marking from what looks to be a breakers or something at some point, so maybe the car had a replacement gearbox. This one is I can turn it around there. That is a DHL box, and this one is a DVR. Everything seems the same. I don't see any reason why that box won't go straight on. Gear ratios I still don't know anything about, but for sure those don't fit the van, and these ones do, albeit this is 17 mil an hour. I don't know, is that to one side or whether it's like half and half. Might get away with it on the CVs, probably better to get a spacer, but I might put it in, see how it looks. Especially if we actually lower the van, that'll help as well. And just to bring the shafts in more permanently so they won't be at their full extent. Just stuck the clutch plate off of the TDI engine on there just to make sure the splines and everything are the same size, which they are. Which is, yeah, so I see no reason at all that gearbox can't go on there. Just need to figure out the gear ratios. I will, if I can't find anything related to the numbers, I'll do something, count the RPMs on it, or count rotations and see what I come up with, see if I can work it out. I do have, if I could spin that at a known speed, or spin it somehow, I have a digital rev counter thing that I can just check what it's putting out on each gear versus what's been put in, but I could probably just do it by counting rotations as well, which won't be as accurate. What else now? EGR off. Gonna pull the rocker cover off there and have a little peek inside. Bit tempted, I must say, to check out how much a full gasket kit is, and seems the sump's going to be coming off to put a T25 sump on it. I don't know, would it be worth pulling the head off and having a look at the head gasket and having a look inside, see what we've got, but that'll depend on cost a bit, really. If it gets up and running and gets this thing out driving for the summer, then that's not so bad. But I can look into it after, but I'll have a think about it, see where we end up. No doubt I'll end up doing way more than I want to. Right. So if you don't know, this is your EGR valve. They're problematic things. Yeah, I don't think it's explaining what they do, but it's, you can buy an EGR delete kit. It's a flat piece of metal that screws on there, that's it, and another one to block the manifold. Might come with gaskets or bolts if it's a better kit, or you can file down a piece of metal to the right size and bolt it over it. The ECU may kick up a problem over it. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I know on my L200 they had water jacket ones and they were really problematic, so I got rid of that, because then you can get exhaust pressure into the water, which is like a blown head gasket if you have problems with your water jacket or your little cooler. But that I was able to just plug in the disconnected EGR valve into that, and that kept it happy. So I'm gonna get these bolts out and just get rid of that. It's an emissions thing, but again, problematic, and we're probably improving things on this anyway, being that much newer than what the van was. Just pull the rocker cover off, make sure all the valve lobes aren't up a load of rust, which they're not, they all look fine. Doesn't seem to be any particular scoring or anything on them. And generally fairly clean in there, not tons of muck built up on everything, so hopefully it was kept serviced. Stick that back on for now. As for the van, I haven't really touched it this week. I stuck the ladder back on and glued the old transporter badge on, but other than that, did I do anything? I'm not sure. I kind of want to get the windscreen put in. I ordered a load of some new window seals and boot strut and loads of bits and pieces, and for some reason the order never went through, and I haven't got round to getting all that stuff again yet. So I must sit down later and do that, and order the timing belt kit for the engine, see about a clutch, thermostats, all that stuff. And I do want to include in this video putting that windscreen in. I know there's probably loads of videos of people doing it online already, but if I don't do it, people will ask to see it. So I will video for putting in that windscreen. On this bit of this windscreen thing. Right, so just put the rubber seal onto the windscreen, and I've got a cable ran around inside the inner seal, and I'm just going to try a bit of WD-40, see will that work as a lubricant to put that in. Right, so just lay the windscreen in place and press it into the recess in there as much as possible, and now it's a two-person job from here out. Okay, so there was no way I could really record that. It takes a while, and it's just, you need help and everything. So failed the first time, got it 3 sides in, and then the cord came out on the other side without having successfully got it to seat in. Second time used some more soapy water, not ideal. Any kind of water-based kind of lubricant would be better for that. But just grabbed something that was there, had some soap and some water, and that was that did the trick. We had 3 of us there, so someone held one side in place while we worked in the other side, because the first time that's what happened. It kind of lifted out on one side as we done it, and then it was too far over for the seal to grab. But as you pull the cord out, it walks it in around. It just walks that seal in around over the lip, all the way around in there. Use a wide enough cord that is strong. I use that, some old axial cord or something, so it's wide and it won't cut the seal. Yeah, so pretty much a case of having a bit of pressure outside, sit it into the rebate as much as you can, and then pull your cord out to bring it over the lip all the way around. Banging it with the palm of your hand kind of settles the corners in a bit after. Tucks the sealing up under there as well. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this video up with that. I've been a bit of a headless chicken this week, running around sorting out loads of different things. I've had to spend most of the day getting this engine out. I I'm working on the blue van as well, so I just got a lot of that sorted today really. So I'll yeah, that's going now anyway, and I'll be back to this. Might actually get to spend a few solid days at it now over the weekend because the weather's looking crap, so I can't do much else. I want to get this kind of stripped down, cleaned up. Did send the ECU off this morning, so that'll be getting done, and he's going to send me a pin schematic for the wirings on this as well, so I can check out what I need to give power to, etc. for that ECU. What else? Waiting on a tool to put the side windows in. I've got plywood in the shed to get the floor put in, and at some point I'm going to have to strip down the front suspension and see what needs to be got for that, but we'll get to it all eventually. Be nice now to start on the gearbox, getting that ready. Got on to Ultimate Engineering for their adapter plate. I'm just getting the adapter plate off them for now, and we'll work on the rest of the stuff as we go. But yeah, he's getting a new batch of them in soon, so I'll have that, and I'll get started on getting that gearbox cut and stuff. We'll see how we go on that. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to hit the like button as well if you can, please. So thank you, and we will see you next time. Cheers.